Here's another commission for Westwind games. More Panzer Mech miniatures. First, we have Kiyosu Musashi, the Emperor's champion. Banzai! Next, it's Iron Ike.
He's Polish, you know.
Next, there's a couple of mechanically augmented zombies, Graig Machines II, who are wearing gas masks for some reason. If zombies didn't have noses, how would they smell? Terrible, I suppose. And finally, there's a Russian aristocrat in exile, Emma Ivankov, the Archangel.
Now, there's two more miniatures in this showcase which are not pictured here. I got Libby Zuka and Austerner after these miniatures were already complete and sent off to Westwind. So I couldn't have them spinning together with everyone else. But I decided to add them to this showcase, and they are coming next. American Sentinel Liberty, aka Libby Zuka, recently swapped her twin submachine guns for a bazooka, because the former were ineffective against mecha and kaiju. Kaiju? Really? I wouldn't mind watching her trying to use her new acquired weapon against likes of Godzilla, from safe distance of course. Now, I don't think Westwind produced any figures of kaiju yet, so Libby is safe for now. I suppose I could make my own, out of plasticine. That would be a pretty big figure though. 2000 mil, to the top of the head. Originally, that bazooka was supposed to have a couple of dozen stars painted on it, but I told Westwind I'm not doing this. But I did paint some stars on her helmet, and on her bra. What exactly is a sentinel anyway?
She is dressed like a cheerleader.
Fuhrer Astana, the man who fought the ghosts of vengeful nuns in a casino. That's actually his background, I kid you not. He's armed with MP-47 rifle, because he was too tight to upgrade it to a bazooka. So now he can't even scratch most things in this game. That's very smart. But at least he has a really nice camouflage jacket. So if something really huge comes out, he'll just stay hidden. If something like Spider Mech catches him though, he'll wish he was still fighting vengeful nuns. Something like that. Does this range actually have sculpts of ghosts of vengeful nuns? Westwind now have to make some for me to paint, or I won't feel complete. Speaking of the jacket, that was my first attempt at painting camouflage. It came out quite well, I'm really happy with the result. Don't think it'll protect him from the righteous anger of the gods at the shores of Crete though. The Archangel, Countessa Emma Ivankov. Actually, they used German nomenclature for count or countess, so it should have been Grafinya Emma Ivankov. She is supposed to be an aristocrat, but she looks a lot more like a Cossack woman. Cossacks are mounted fighters who lived by their own rules. They were sort of like a subculture. So I'm afraid Emma is posing here because you couldn't just become a Cossack. They learned horsemanship from very young age. And boys were taught to use firearms and fight with sabers at about 12. Women taking arms was rare, and it only really happened in desperate times, so they were a bit like Viking shield maidens. So there you go, a little history and culture lesson there. Iron Ike. For his color scheme, I was asked to do something similar to Captain America, but because he's so heavily armored, I thought that the color scheme of Iron Patriot will be a lot more suitable. Iron Patriot is basically like Iron Man, only with a red, blue and white color scheme. And after all this, it turns out he's not actually American, but Polish. Had I known this, I would have painted him red and white. Just kidding, I was asked for Captain America in armor, and that's what had to be done. It wasn't so obvious though, His concept art was black and white, so I had to improvise. I ended up painting quite a bit of freehand detail for this. It started getting a bit too bright, so I decided to paint some parts dark non-metallic metal. That muted the color scheme slightly, making him a bit more gritty.
Graig Machines Z. Now, these are supposed to be some sort of armored zombies, but to be honest, they don't look like it. In fact, these things seem to be much more machine than a corpse. Arms and legs are obviously replacements, and even the torso looks mostly metal, so the head and possibly a few organs are the only flesh parts. So they're basically RoboCop. The concept art for these actually looked quite a bit different from the sculpted versions. They were a bit bulkier and had little face masks with tubes coming out of them, instead of the gas masks. Now, I don't get why zombies would have gas masks in the first place, unless they had them when they were still alive, but these were created in a factory. They're not your typical raised dead. I suppose some things are better left unanswered, though.
Kirazo Musashi in advanced prototype armor and carrying legendary sword the Grass Cutter, as well as mechanically enhanced bow, which got nicked by someone because the miniature doesn't have it. He could have at least used that as an opportunity to upgrade to a bazooka. So the Panzer Mech Kickstarter brought Japanese faction to the games of Secrets of the Third Reich. And their gimmick is kaiju, giant prehistoric sea monsters from Japanese pop culture, who woke up after nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Sounds familiar? Yeah, that's the storyline of 1954's Godzilla film, which wasn't just a monster movie. It was an anti-war film, something more recent versions of Godzilla completely forget. But hey, we're war gamers. Miniature games without conflict would have been pretty boring.